Have you ever heard a story so ancient, so powerful, that it still speaks to us today? This isn't just a children's tale about animals and a boat. It has a story of judgment, faith, and new beginnings. In Noah's time, the world was filled with corruption and violence, just like ours today. But in the midst of darkness, one man chose to walk with God, and through him, humanity was given a second chance. The story of the flood is more than history. It is a mirror reflecting our own lives and choices. Every detail, from the ark to the rainbow, carries a message of hope, warning, and redemption. Today, we'll uncover the hidden truths and powerful symbols behind this story. Truths that will challenge you to live differently and trust God even when the storm rages. Let's dive in and discover what Noah's story really means for us today. 1. Judgment, grace, and renewal. The flood wasn't just a storm, it was judgment, a terrifying reset that wiped away a world drowning in evil and violence. 2. Imagine a society where every thought, every action, every heart was corrupted with sin. But even in the midst of chaos, there was grace, one family, one ark, one chance for a new beginning. While the waters rose to destroy, God was already working to save, and when the storm finally ended, He painted the sky with a rainbow, not just beauty, but a promise of mercy, a vow that destruction would never have the final word. Even today, every rainbow reminds us that no matter how dark life gets, God's grace always makes a way. Obedience in the face of ridicule. Imagine it, a massive boat being built on dry land. The sun shining, the skies clear, no sign of rain anywhere. Neighbors gathered, laughing, mocking, pointing at Noah, calling him a fool. Look at crazy Noah building a boat where there is no water. But Noah kept building, hammer after hammer, plank after plank, his faith unshaken. Why? Because obedience to God matters more than the approval of people. When the first raindrops finally fell, the laughter stopped. Noah's obedience saved his family, while doubt destroyed those who mocked. Sometimes faith will make you look crazy to the world, but when the storm comes, faith is the only shelter that lasts. 3. The ark as sanctuary. The ark wasn't just a boat, it was a floating sanctuary, a vessel of life and hope in a drowning world. Outside was judgment and destruction. Inside was peace and safety. There was only one door into the ark, just as there is only one way to salvation, through Jesus Christ. Today, the church is like that ark, a refuge where broken people find safety, while the storms of life rage outside. 4. Light in the darkness. In the ark, as the storm raged endlessly, God gave Noah a single window at the very top. This tiny opening, a light to pour in, a small reminder that hope was still alive. That window symbolized God's presence. Even in the darkest night, hopeful tone. In our storms, Jesus is that light. No matter how fierce the floodwaters rise, His presence always breaks through the darkness and reminds us that He has not forgotten us. 5. The Rainbow Covenant. When the flood finally ended, the world was silent, washed clean, ready for a new beginning. And then God gave the world a sign. A rainbow stretched across the heavens, not just colors in the sky, not just beauty after a storm, but a promise etched into creation itself, firm, inspiring tone. Every rainbow you see whispers this truth: God is faithful. His promises never fail, and no matter how broken things seem, there is always hope for a fresh start. 6. The ark points to Jesus. The floodwaters were judgment. The ark was salvation. Just like there was one door into the ark, there is only one way to be saved. Through Jesus Christ, Noah's ark carried his family through the flood. Jesus carries us through the storm of sin, death, and judgment. The ark was temporary, but the salvation Jesus offers is eternal for those who trust Him. The storm will never have the final word. 7. God's sorrow and compassion. The flood wasn't just an act of anger, it was an act of grief. The Bible says God's heart was deeply troubled by the evil of the world, like a parent weeping for a wayward child. He was heartbroken over humanity's rebellion. He acted to stop evil before it consumed everything, but even in his judgment, his love remained strong, hopeful tone, the same love that saved. Noah would one day take the weight of judgment on itself on the cross of Jesus Christ, offering eternal rescue to all who believe. What makes the story life-changing? 1. It intersects judgment with hope, reminding us that even amidst brokenness, restoration is possible through obedience and faith. 2. It encourages steadfast integrity. Noah teaches us to uphold faith, regardless of popular opinion. 3. It speaks of God's relational grief. God doesn't judge from afar. He is emotionally invested in creation. 4. It invites us to a covenant community with the ark as precursor. Christ becomes the ultimate refuge. 5. It inspires awe and renewal. The rainbow's beauty stands as a perpetual reminder of promise. Call to action. Noah's story isn't just about the past, it's about us. We live in a world filled with greed, violence, and noise. Just like Noah's time, the question is, will you live like everyone else, or will you live like Noah? If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe so we can keep spreading these timeless stories of faith and hope. Remember this, every rainbow is a reminder that God's promises never fail, and He always keeps His word.